Hi everyone, it's Slavomir here. I hope we are doing excellent this evening. It is the 4th of Monday, Oslo, real, and boys, girls, men, women, kids, seniors, whoever you are, and no matter color of your skins or ethnics of your origin or background of your religion, ain't no matter. Actually, it's a joke for me currently concerning yourself over the religion and why I mentioned that and the color of the skin and stuff like that, because we are still living in these crappy ways all over the world that people distinguish themselves from different species and through religion which is bullshit, bogus, and should be abandoned long time ago. I'm in favor of that, hoping the rest of the world will follow up. It's something that actually divide us instead of unify, because the universe don't need this bogus bullshit religion or division by color or ethnics of your origin, which means America, Brazil, Uganda, Nigeria, wherever. Some protests in certain countries have been probably, I don't want to be too much conspiratorial yet. Of course, Europe had a massive influence in Africa, and therefore, if I mean England, for example, or Belgium, or Italy, that influence invade those countries and exploit for their own benefit. But yeah, despite that, I'm hoping for the world that will unify a whole human race, that everybody will start looking at this universe as a most incredible place to be. Abundance, prosperity, harmony, and unity. This world is totally a perfect place to be. We had the best condition ever since really long time. Peace, harmony, free library where you can read and discover knowledge about the world, access to your own mind and observation to the peaceful time on this planet since long time. Apparently some countries fighting and with the terrorists for the peace, and making the war and soldiers in America involving in this peaceful process and seeking enemies in Far Eastern land, countries like Syria, Iran, Iraq, and all other places. And now we have this Venezuela issue, which should absolutely, from my point of view, what's going on there? 21st century, that people has to flee from the country nearby Colombia, and those actually bankrupt themselves and broken, allowing them actually to pass in, which is really actually nice in some way, but who knows. This should never happen. Like 21st century, the earth, this planet is full of free space. Even China, even Russia is unoccupied and has plenty of land on which could be grow fruits, vegetables, and discover more resources. And yeah, I can go on and on and on. The progress of certain massive companies, corporations, and individuals that trying to keep in control certain things and exploit Venezuela probably. And the worst thing is that people who live in Venezuela, the top leaders, are probably a total bastards and garbage, because, well, what would you expect? That's why the things happen in the country which happened in other countries in the past, before Uganda, Congo, when they were exploited and there was genocide and killing and mass murdering. Why did things happened over there? Because people were programmed. Not just that, but of course certain group of people were supply the small minority which were promised to receive power and ruling and raping and murdering and killing, and they got the weapons and stuff like that, so they could divert sabotage, divert. I am lost for word currently, which could summarize and emphasize everything what I'm trying to say about that. Despite that, what I'm trying to say that what's going on in Colombia and Venezuela actually, and Colombia is having like open arms for Venezuela folks and receive them in for hundreds of thousands daily. This is something that I don't follow mainstream media, I don't listen stuff like that, but when you have open captive spirit, you don't pollute yourself with the crap garbage food, your senses are open and alert, and you learn from observation and through process of experiment and learning through life. As you go, you get to know that you are bombarded with garbage information from the mass media, which are used for propagating certain stuff because they are in the hands of the power to be, which is the banking elite, probably Rothschild, Rockefeller, or whoever. Rothschild, and you know, they will play this theater to mass people in the world in order to even that most people like would say, it doesn't affect me and this and that, I can listen and watch or whatever, but really truly it does, because at the end you might think you have your own formed opinion, yet you will have, if someone start to talk to you deeply over certain thing, you're gonna start, the other person will start realize like you think just like everybody else. In regard, for example, immigrants that coming to Europe and are provided with the houses, with the tickets to the Europe from Iran, Iraq, Syria, wherever they were bombed and wherever there was war, and people in Europe tend to blame them and make them terrorists and stuff like that. Yet they only use the opportunity which American probably provide them through European Union and through United Nations, which is in the hand of Rothschild and Rockefeller agenda. So the effect of the war and invasion, and they don't want to deal with those people who would fight for the country, they just provide them the means to leave, to go to Europe, to go to Sweden, to go to Norway. So those people, knowing that they don't have resources to fight with invader, they just use the opportunity and deciding they are smart enough to get out and get the free house or whatever people see in German or Norway or Sweden. You know my drift, you know what I mean. So sadness in many ways, but it is a trick that America use. They invade, they reap profit, but other nations pay consequences because they're using a trick programming through those international organizations like United Nations, European Union, and hopefully they hope that one day those people who coming there have different ethnics and religion can be inflicted with conflict with Christians and Catholics in Europe, so they can reap another profit and borrow again money for the war and weapons and stuff like that. This is how it's rolling all the time, every time. You know, they have agenda, and through that agenda they making incredibly massive amount of money, shooting, fighting, selling the bullets, missiles, planes, and all the rockets and stuff like that. So cigarettes, oil industry and stuff like that will thrive. Plus Rothschild banking cartel will borrow the money to England and to Russia and will control the outcome of both sides and will reap the profit that they both going to have to return, because they have agents which the leaders know who is in control, Putin or Churchill or whoever was, and will be knowing who is the true leader, who give them the money and who they have to obey, and the rest people are just fools who's gonna grab the weapon and fight. I gone too far today, yet I came for different reasons. What I'm not happy about is what's happening in Venezuela, the most rich country in mineral oil. They could be the richest country, one of the richest country in the world, yet they are the poorest and broken and flee from their own country. Why it's happened and why nobody talks about it, that there is hyperinflation, something that was already in German, that the 1 mark and one loaf of bread cost before the war 1 mark, and through a process of beginning of the war and before, as deep state of inflation, deflation, inflation, hyperinflation increased, the problems with paying the debt to France and England from the first war, which was probably done by design, everything, put them in a situation that the currency had no value, and from 1 mark at some point the bread cost 25 million. So that's what's kind of probably going on in Venezuela. I would believe that it's kind of experiment which they would like to create in Europe sooner or later, or in America, and use the America as a machine for war, as German were used in the Second War. And America is already superpower and would be bigger, and it is all the time the same process, trying to conquer the world and taking under total control, finally, that they can win everything. That's why it's great to be in a great shape, have a goal, and be focused on yourself, and knowing where you're going in life and what you want to do, because things are happening in life, and things not always stay the same as we wish like them to be. But despite that, the life is amazing, the life is beautiful, and there are seasons: autumn, spring, summer, winter. In certain countries just going to be, I don't know, spring and winter, or summer, and spring. I don't know how it's exactly. I usually live in the country where it's 4 seasons, and I feel good even in that challenging environment, because if I were only in some hot place, some people love it. I think I would love to some point that, but it would not challenge myself. I just probably is the program that I'm used to, and it is tough, but it makes you move your ass every now and then. Actually, the sun actually move you also, to makes you do things. The planet is awesome, amazing. The sun is shining for just and unjust. The law is governing this universe for everybody. equally. It doesn't discriminate, and the rain falls on good and evil, as you might know. So the law of the universe is equal for everybody, so therefore we can employ in our life for our own benefit, because it never destroys us. It's only what we're doing in life to each other through our thoughts and deeds and action, false belief in propagated in our, implanted in our mind. The wrongdoing one to another. It's only us, human beings, not the planet, not the universe, not the divine order. It's perfect. -7, 10 o'clock night, Monday 24th. Oh, another day nailed. Whew. So, sacrilegion should be abandoned. It proves us beyond shadow of doubt for hundreds of years. Just war, just fighting, just bullshit. And the only religion is the universe that provides you life, the supreme wisdom that gives you oxygen every day, that gives you life, that proves you that there are laws governing this universe, this planet, this cosmos. And
provide so much abundance for 7 billion people so far. And if not the only few who are the most powerful and rich and keep a lot for themselves and set the rules, then we would have solar power free, perhaps would never have to work. Many incredible things would be beautiful, and no guys from Venezuela would have to run ever to another country, knowing that they are so rich, and people put up with that in 21st century when we have this incredible understanding that we are the creator of our life. We can alter our life by altering our attitudes towards each other, toward life, and life will do toward us, because there are laws governing this planet. Think good, do good, and that will follow. You are doing that daily, and you can improve. Everybody. Until tomorrow. It is freaking cold. Today was the coldest day ever, -17. It is not so cold, it was in the morning, but I'll better get ready, shoot out before I'll freeze out. Until tomorrow, take care. Slavo.